All right, hi guys. Today's workout is coming to you from my apartment gym, and we're going to be using the Smith machine and some dumbbells, and there's a bench to do step-ups. I've already done some cardio, so you could either do 10 minutes of cardio in between, start out warming up at least 10 minutes, and then do a set of workout exercises and then go back to the cardio. Just so happened I did my cardio all at once today, just because I was on the phone with a friend. So it doesn't matter either way, but try to get at least 30 minutes of cardio. What I like about breaking it up into the 10-minute sections, it does a couple of things. One, it tricks our mind into getting that 30 minutes or more of cardio, and it's not as daunting. If I tell you, okay, do 10 minutes, you're like, okay, whatever, I can do 10 minutes. And then you do something else. So that ADD, we're like, oh, okay, do something else, something else, something else. So, and a lot of times we don't want to just commit to doing 30, 45 minutes of cardio all at once in one block. So that helps a lot, kind of trick us into that, getting that in. A lot of times I do that with my core workout, ab exercises as well, because if I waited till the end of the workout and say, okay, I'll do them all at the end, I don't get them in. So I mix them in between the other exercises. It gives let's say if you're doing legs, today we're doing legs and shoulders, it will give your legs and shoulders a little break while you're doing core exercises, and then you get to squeeze them all in. So those are all little tricks that I have learned over the years that kind of helps not only myself, but other people be successful. So today we're gonna use the Smith machine, and we're gonna use dumbbells, and we're gonna use a bench, and do legs and shoulders and core. And remember, squeeze that cardio in. I'm gonna put it in the blocks as 10 minutes warm up and then 10 minutes in between each block. However you wanna work it out. If you have a goal that you need to run, a 5K or something, then let that be your goal and get your cardio all in one block. But if your goal is just general fitness, then you can get that circuit training aspect as well. So that's another thing about doing the cardio in between. Sorry, I'm kind of sweaty. I'm looking at myself, I'm like, kind of gross today. But anyway, so you squeeze that in every 10 minutes, and then it keeps your heart rate up. So it's almost like you've done cardio for a whole hour. So that's even a better benefit because you do the cardio, you go straight to the weights, you kind of move through things with less of a break. So if you're, again, just going for general fitness, going for fat loss, circuit training is great. It keeps your endurance up. But if you're going for strength training and really need to work on lifting the weights, heavier weights, then you might want to take a minute break in between your sets. So do a set of your legs, take a minute break. So it's kind of a couple of different ways to train. It just depends on what your overall goal is. But again, general fitness, we're going for circuit training today. So I'm gonna start over on the Smith machine and start with some squats, and we'll talk about proper squats over there. So this is the Smith machine. We can do a lot of things on this machine. You can do chest, you can do back. Throughout our workouts we'll be doing a lot, but today we're gonna do squats, and we're actually gonna do lunges on here as well. So I'm gonna get the pad, put on here for extra neck support. And the first set, I'm just gonna do with no weight because I've not been on this Smith machine yet. And I just wanna get a feel of what it feels like with no weight. The bar is your standard 45-pound bar, but it doesn't weigh 45 pounds on your body because of the pulleys and the way it's set up. Now what I have found is the more weight you add to it, eventually the weight picks back up as far as starts getting that 45 pounds back in. So when I'm counting my weight that I put on here, I only count what I slide on. I don't count the bar. But if I was using this as a free bar for like chest press or squats, it's a 45-pound bar and you definitely count it. But since I don't really know how much is adding in, that doesn't matter to me. I just need to know what I've added on. So I'm gonna start with 0. We're gonna talk about form here. So because the machine is at an angle, the biggest mistake that people make is they get their body all the way under the machine, straight under it, And then when they squat, it pushes them back too far, like that. So what you have to do, because of the angle of the machine, is walk your feet forward just a little bit. And I always have to do one to make sure I'm in the right position. Suck your belly in, and you sit back, and you want to feel like you can push equally with your heels and the balls of your feet. You shouldn't feel any pressure in your toes. And Smith machine squats actually are pretty good for people who have some knee issues and can't do regular squats because it puts their knees at such a bad angle. I'm looking at my ankles, saying ankle when I mean angle. It just puts you at such a bad angle. So my feet are just a little bit wider than hips width apart. They're slightly forward of my hips. That way when I sit back, I sit my butt back and I squeeze my quads. Everything's tight. My belly's tight. And if I didn't feel like I could push equally with my heels and toes, my heels and the ball of my feet, that is, I would move my feet just a little bit forward or back until I got that right position. And again, my toes are facing forward. Just a slight turn out. One more. And I'm locking back up. And that was my first set of squats. No weight. Next exercise is alternating step-ups with shoulder presses. And I'm going to alternate my shoulder presses whichever leg I'm stepping up with is the shoulder that I will press. And you can definitely tell my right leg isn't as strong as my left. Now, if you have trouble with balance, you can always tap down. And if this is too high, you can find something a little less high to step up on. This is about the only thing in here to step up on right now. But something a little less high. Now, so another reason I like to lift my knee is because it's not going to allow me to step down with the wrong leg. A lot of times what happens when people do step-ups, and I'm going to do this bad next time, is if they have a dominant leg, they will go up and down on that dominant leg. So, do that, and then if I step up, and then I'm going to come down on that left leg again. See what I did there? That's bad. So, make sure, I'm out of breath. I'm trying to talk and do these at the same time. So, make sure that as you go up, that you're coming down on the same leg that you stepped up with, or vice versa. Whatever it is, it's equal. A lot of times we get moving and we don't think about that. You've got to think about that because that's what happens. My left leg is so much stronger than my right leg. And that's probably because I demonstrate everything with my left leg instead of my right leg. So anyways, make sure they're even. Step ups with shoulder press. Next exercise is side shoulder raises, but what I'm going to do is balance on one leg. So I can just hold that leg there, or I can lift that leg, or if I'm coordinated enough, I can add a little leg extension. But either way, you're working on that balance. So you're doing a couple of things at the same time. See if I can get coordinated. It's like rubbing your belly and patting your head at the same time. That's enough. Try to get 10 to 15 of those. All right, next exercise on the Smith machine again. We're gonna do lunges. Now, if you can't do lunges, step-ups are fine. You have worked those muscles in much of the same way where you're working those glutes. But this one's gonna help you get your quads in there as well. So if you don't have access to a quad extension or hamstring curl, no need, you can do lunges. You can do them with dumbbells as well if you wanted to. So, think about the Smith machine. If I'm just doing regular lunges, you try to get at an angle here. There. Tilt your pelvis forward, belly tight, tilt that knee, and then it's going straight down, and I'm pushing up with my front heel and my back toe. You don't want to lean forward. You don't want to push up with your front toe. But that's kind of easy to do if you're just using dumbbells or doing stationary lunges to get your feet right by using that method. Here, again, the biggest problem that people do, mistake I should say, is they put their front foot under the bar and then it's going to push them forward. What you've got to do is get your hips under the bar. So walk that foot a little bit forward. And again, I always have to do one to make sure I'm doing it right, make sure I feel it in the right places. So tilt that pelvis under in the back, belly's really tight. I'm looking straight ahead. I go down. I want to feel equal pressure in my front heel and my back toe. And I should be able to wiggle those toes in the front. I'm just going to do 5 for right now, but typically somewhere between 10 and 15 on each side, because I want to switch and do the other side. I think that's number 5. Bring that right foot forward, and I'm going to put my right foot right beside my left foot and switch that way. And that way, I'm going to have a better chance of getting my feet position right the first time. Yeah, that worked. Again, if I didn't feel it in the right place, I would just move my back foot in a little bit or out a little bit, or my front foot in a little bit, out a little bit, to make sure I'm in the right position. Again, I've done some instructional videos on lunges. You can always look at my Facebook page. Spartan Bev, SGX coach for that, and it talks about proper lunge position, and that is the stationary lunge, where you're just going up and down. There's a gazillion kind of lunges, walking lunges, or reverse lunges, love them all, but you got to find what works for you, or maybe what is actually working the particular body part for that particular day. So if I was doing stationary lunges, I'm working my glutes and hamstrings on the front leg and my quads on the back leg. Again, that's taking the place of a quad extension machine and hamstring machine if you don't have access to that. So let's say if I just really wanted to focus on my glutes, I could do a reverse lunge, or I could do a suspended lunge. So lots of different lunges. But anyways, those are our Smith machine lunges. Exercise or reverse dumbbell flies, or flies for your rib deltoids, posterior, whatever you want to call it. So here, I'll turn sideways. Feet are about 4 or 6 inches apart. Suck your belly in, stick your butt out, and your arms are slightly forward, and they're going to come up in line with your shoulders. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to carry them to the back. You don't want to use momentum. Think ears and shoulders. That's going to really hit that rear deltoid. You can also turn your thumbs in and get those really isolated from those rear deltoids. It'll help bring out that little bitty chicken cutlet, I call it. I'm going to do 12. I think that's 9, I can't count. That's one thing you'll know about trainers. We can't count. Woo, that's it. exercises today. We're gonna work on some planks. So turn sideways. See if we can get the whole thing. Yeah, most of it. Just so you can see that my back's not sagging. Suck your belly in. Front angle. Your hands are directly under your shoulders. Belly's tight, neck is in line with your spine. Now I'm gonna bring in one knee each side. So this would be like a really slow mountain climber, really. And twist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then give it a little stretch. A little child's pose to stretch the back out. V-sit is my other favorite ab exercise. You see that I do this one all the time. V-sit with a twist. Just gonna use this little 8-pound dumbbell here. Bend your knees, 90 degrees. Belly tight, arms up and drop it down to the side. Now again, the biggest mistake here people make is they just move their arms. That hasn't done anything for your waist. So I always say, follow the weight with your eyes and shoulders. And that makes you work that core. I also kind of use the analogy to kind of swing, kind of like you're swinging in a baseball or tennis. That's what you're using that core for. Same kind of movement, so functional fitness. So those are V-sit. So we've done 3 Pilates moves. We did plank, V-sit, and now we're doing Pilates roll-ups. I'm gonna turn a little bit sideways so you can see my legs are out straight. I'm gonna roll all the way back. It's like a full sit-up. So to begin with, if you're a beginner at this, suck your belly in, squeeze your glutes, and you can use the momentum from your arms swinging up to come and touch your toes. So with Pilates, you get some core and stretching at the same time. So I'm trying to reach and touch my toes. If you can't touch them, just stretch as far as you can. You don't want to overstretch or bounce through your stretches. So as you get stronger, the less you need to swing those arms through to help you up. I think that's 8. And so I'm trying to keep my heels down too. One of the things people will do is, because they're not strong enough, their heels will lift up. So that's when you really got to suck your belly in, squeeze your glutes, and push those heels down into the floor. You don't need people to hold your feet when you're doing sit-ups. You've just got to learn how to strengthen those muscles and use them. So that's it. That's your workout for the day. Cardio, squats on the Smith machine, alternating step-ups with shoulder press. What else we do? Side shoulder raises, but we balanced. We did lunges on the Smith machine. We did reverse flies, and then we did our 3 core exercises. So now I'm gonna repeat that again 2 more times. So at least get 3 sets of that in if you can. The weights don't have to be heavy, or if you wanna make them heavier, do whatever works for you. This is scalable to your fitness level, okay? So you make it work for you. All right, have a good one. Bye.